Welcome back to The Last Storm. My name is Mark, and I'm back with Dave, and we're here to talk about the Thunder. We just got done playing the Sacramento Kings.
Ouch.
It felt like one of the first playoff games we've had in a couple of years. So, yeah, we wanted to win it, but man, this was a game of big-time shot making, back and forth by both teams. They got us, but they had home court advantage, home court officiating, all the bullshit that we want to talk about, but really what we want to focus mostly on is the good things.
Yeah, and there was a lot of great things to look at here, and really the way that we were able to play and shoot the ball is kind of like the highlight for me.
Yeah.
The low light was they beat us by 17 free throws last night. I mean, meaning whether it was officiating, whether we were attacking the hole, whatever the case weren't attacking the hole strong, it doesn't matter. We only shot 11 free throws. To me,
yeah, Shea shot 2.
Yeah, that's a loss. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want you guys.
I'm sorry.
He
went 3 for 4. I apologize.
Yeah. But that's a loss. Anytime that we only go to the free throw line 11 times, I circle that, and I have to say that's not good for us. We need to be at that free throw line 18 to 25 times a game. And it's just because the way we play, we attack, we go downhill. I felt like we could have done a better job at that. So with that being said, I want to move on from anything else that's negative like that. And I really want to highlight Shea, because we can talk about Isaiah Joe, which we're going to talk about Isaiah Joe, guys. We are in love with Isaiah Joe and the things that he's doing for this team. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander really stepped up in a phenomenal way. 37 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, and he had 1 rebound, but it wasn't that game where we were requiring him to get out there and get rebounds. 3 for 4, like Mark said, on free throws, 2 for 3 on three-pointers, and 16 for 23 getting to that hole.
He was significantly better than anybody we've seen for a while, like because of his shot making this game. It was crazy, nearly 70%.
It was beautiful. It was a masterpiece by Shea. It just sucks that we weren't able to execute to get the win, because, you know, if we had, this would have been going down as one of Shea's better performances in his career, just because of the way that he was able to do the things that he did and as efficient as he was.
For sure, bro. Look, we can definitely feel like we should have won the game, or we would have won the game. Dude, they just played great, bro. Like both teams did, and I really liked the way we played. There was a stretch where we weren't able to execute. There were times where being undersized really hurt, but in the end, before we talk about how that sucked, let's talk about what we learned about nice cloud. But anyway, let's talk about what we learned about the starter who had the least points in Jalen Williams. This rookie went out there and played against an all-star, and I thought he did damn good.
Jalen Williams.
J. Will.
Thank you.
J. Will, thank you. From Arkansas. So here's the deal, right? He took, I believe, 3 charges. That's what I heard the Kings announcer say. I kind of only remember 2, but
it could have been 4. It could have been 4.
Could have been 4
or 5 if the officiate had turned that one.
It's incredible how he plays position. He makes people second guess driving, which is good. He's going to get better at having this reputation, which will then get in people's heads, which will be effective. And it's more, to me, a charge is better than a block shot, because now we're taking the ball side out, and a block shot, you might recover it, you might not. And that's why I'm looking at it and I'm saying you got to count those in my book on that block shot if you're looking at a stat line. And if you were looking at it and it said, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 block shots, you'd be like, all right, now this guy's probably a big dude, like a giant. He's not a giant, right? And he can't jump out of this world, but he knows how to do what he can do. And his ability to knock down shots close to the rim through 15 feet with confidence is a problem for teams. And he can also stretch and knock down that 3. So this has been a great stretch for J. Will, and I'm excited to see him get this opportunity. It was an opportunity that he has earned, but also through this mentality of us giving young players, chances, in a way, he's going to grow from this in a way that we can't expect. We do know he's going to go back to the G League at some point, right? This isn't like something that happens, it's a one-way thing. Go back to the G League, work on it, come back a better player. But man, he's showing some incredible signs.
Yeah, and one thing I love about Jay Will, and I don't want to get stuck on what we talked about yesterday too much with Chet, but if you think about getting Chet and Poku back, and either one of those two guys are down the lane ready for the block shot, and you have Jay Will who's perfecting his craft right now, and he gets to that point where he's taking the charge consistently, maybe 2 to 5 times a game, right? And if he's doing that, it's essentially us funneling their offense, right down mid-street so that we can get those charge. You know, like Jay Will is going to be a big part of that. He's going to make it so that guys like Murray aren't going to go off for 29 points because he's going to pick up a couple charges, or Dante Sabonis isn't going to have a triple-double in the game because he's going to go try to get to the lane and he's going to pick 3 to 5 charges up against somebody like Jay Will. Because if you think about it, and you have a blocker out there, right? What are you taught to do with a blocker? One, you jump strong and you get into their bodies, right? So that you can finish, okay? So if you're doing this and you're going hard and you know that you got to go up strong against Chet or Poku, you're not thinking about Jay Will standing right there who's going to get a face full of nuts from you. You're not thinking about that. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Jay Will loves to get a face full of nuts, and he loves to get those charges up. And I love it, man. To me, like
that smile, bro, after he took that charge, dude, it was like,
I know.
It was like a person who has found their calling on earth.
I know, man. It's one of the greatest, most beautiful things in sports is learning how to take a charge and be effective with it. And Jay Will, to me, if he had stayed another year in college, would have broken every single taken charge record in NCAA history, period. And it goes back to Christian Leitner.
No, it goes back to Shane Battier right now.
Shane Battier, I'm sorry, yeah.
Right,
Dude,
and
great.
Yeah, he was going to pass him. Shane Battier, I think I looked it up. Because we got him, I was like curious. It was like 112 or something like that for Shane Battier over his career. Jay Will had 56 last year.
56, yep.
Right. So he was already in the 80s.
He was 80 something like that. I forget where it was at, but
it was his. And we see him out there perfecting his craft, and those opportunities are available here.
Because here's the thing about it. Like it's the ability to take a charge. Like you said, it's more valuable than a block shot. Why? Well, a block shot, you don't know, it's a 50-50 ball. Okay. Mm-hmm. Second of all, there's no foul. Okay. A charge, you're picking up fouls on their best guys that are coming down the lane. Like this guy, Jay Will, he is the future of our four-man, of our power forward / center / whatever we need him to be. He's like the perfect utility guy because he's so effective in his shots. He's so efficient in the three-point shot too. Like, and then all of a sudden he takes charges and he's a difference maker like that. If he's coming in the game for 20 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, and you know that he's going to pick up 3 charges and he's going to get 6 rebounds, he's going to get a few assists, he's going to get 3 or 4 open shots. Like, and then all of a sudden you look down our entire bench and you're like, whoa, shit, we've got a bunch of those guys. But Jay Will, in my opinion, is the difference maker. In my opinion, he's going to be one of those guys that's considered one of the best 6 men in the NBA in the future. And
we got so many guys like that right now, dude.
We got so many. But Mark, there's something special about Jay Will. And we said it before the season. We said during the season. But now that he's getting all these minutes like this, like we're starting to recognize he's painting this picture of the person that he is. And we're all like, we want more. We want more. Spend more time on that. We want to see what else you can do. Yeah. Oh, you can hit threes? Ooh.
Yeah. I feel like he just learned where that circle, that line is in a way. Like, of course you know where it is, but like going at game speed and setting your feet and knowing instinctively that your heels are off of that line is something that he was struggling with early. And it was like, ooh, watch. I feel like this was the game he figured it out.
And it was beautiful to watch. And let's stick with Arkansas, man. Can we start with Arkansas?
All right. So, but first, let me set the table before we go to Isaiah Joe. We're not going to talk about the other guys, but the other guys who weren't starters, other than Isaiah Joe, okay, they went combined 3 for 17. Okay, it was a tough display for those guys. But with that said, our bench still scored 31 points because Isaiah Joe scored freaking 21 points on 7 of 12 from behind the arc. Dave, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, and with all due respect, because we've leaned on our bench a lot this year, and our bench is depleted in the aspect of we're expecting 1 or 2 bench players to start every single game right now. So our bench is depleted in that aspect. So this is not a loss for us. This is not something I'm going to look at and say Lindy Waters' 7 minutes was a fail, or Trey Mann's 7 minutes was a fail, or Mike Muscala's 11. You know what? These guys, they played the minutes that they're given. And tonight, this was a different game. This was a playoff environment, and Coach D decided to shrink everybody's minutes, okay? And we really got an idea of what this future team is going to look like when we get healthy. Seeing Isaiah Joe go for that 21 points and 29 minutes, 7 for 12 on with a three-point shot. He only took 1 other field goal other than that. 1 offensive rebound, 6 rebounds. Man, I could talk about Isaiah Joe's shooting all day, okay? Yeah, the second we got him, I said some crazy things that people laughed about him too.
I was one of the people laughed at you, bro.
But I knew what Isaiah Joe's shot was like. I paid attention to Arkansas. One of my best friends in high school, his name is Chris Killman. All right, he bought me Arkansas stuff for my birthday when I was 14, something like that. So I always had these Arkansas shorts and a shirt. So when I hear about a player that's taking 10 threes a game for a team like Arkansas, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to start watching these games again. And I saw what he could do. And then he got stuck in the 76ers team, which, again, is a very good team. Like, he's not being able to breathe. But I know he's a good shooter. And then the Thunder picked him up. I was like, oh, my God. Like, this is exactly what we need off our bench, is somebody that can go out there and take 10, 12 threes in a game. And that can be very efficient doing that, too. And I was like, but Chip Kelly's going to help him. Chip England is going to help him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is the guy that's going to allow us to have everything that we need. We've got our inside presence. Mm-hmm. We've got our drivers. We've got everybody else that makes all the shots open for everybody.
Right.
Everybody knows that Isaiah Joe's a shooter. This is not a fucking surprise, but he's getting 10 open threes a game. Like, listen, what the hell? It's because how good Isaiah Joe is moving without the ball.
Yeah.
It's because Isaiah Joe isn't selfish and he's willing to pass the ball if he sees somebody with a better shot. Isaiah Joe attacks a motherfucking hole when any rebound's available. He's up there taking charges. He's up there playing defense with the best of them. Isaiah Joe on a lot of teams in the NBA would be a starter.
Right.
And we're getting a real glimpse of what he can do right now. And everybody's like, more. Give us more Isaiah Joe. Because we all want Isaiah Joe playing. We all need Isaiah Joe playing.
Yeah.
Because what he can do with the rock is fucking filthy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he hunts his shot, and he's always in pursuit. And no matter what the last one looked like, it's like, if he missed it, bro, I feel like all he wants to do is shoot it from deeper. Which, like, he doesn't do it in a way where it's like a heat check deep. It's more like he feels like if he can get a shot off, it's a good shot. And I agree. And I think...
And I want to say this other thing, too, is Arkansas needs to be known as a player developmental college.
Powerhouse, baby.
Powerhouse player developmental college. Because
people might act like it's an overstatement, bro, but there doesn't take many legit NBA players to emerge as one of these places, because 2, 3, 4, that's enough, bro.
Look at the coaching staff and what they've done for Jalen Williams and teaching him how to be a better player. Look at what they did to Isaiah Joe. I mean, there's 3 or 4 other guys that know how to play minutes in the league right now.
They know how to defend. They know how to move their feet. They know how to take charges. They come into the league knowing these things.
I'm a huge fan of Arkansas, and I say this over and over again because, first of all, we got 2 Arkansas guys on our team. Mm-hmm. And if you don't understand what they can bring to the table, that mentality that, we have a lot of listeners that call it that dog mentality. Like, I'm willing to fucking do whatever it takes at any fucking time of day, at any game, at any time. I'm going to do what it takes to get that ball. Mm-hmm. You have to have those guys. And Arkansas is turning those guys out right and left. And then all of a sudden you see Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams, and you're a fan of Arkansas, and you're like, yeah, I got to cheer for these guys on my team for a very long time because they're not going anywhere.
Dude.
Isaiah Joe is going to be known as one of the best 6 men in the NBA for a very, very long time. And we get to see him play for our team because we gave him the chance.
Look, hey, teams are going to
man.
increase the pressure. He's going to make the scouting report. These types of games are going to be harder and harder to come by. But even if he's not hitting 7 threes, like that just means defenses are extending further, and that's going to make other open shots for people. So,
do you think I look at him now? We have a lot of listeners that comment and talk about players. So I want you guys to throw this back at me, right? I look at Isaiah Joe as one of those guys that, as far as bench players, there's only maybe one other bench player that I would rather as a shooter than Isaiah Joe. Is there anybody else, guys, that I'm missing that's better than Isaiah Joe as a shooter?
Not that I've seen in a long time. Like, there are people I think that find that mid-range game better than him, but hunt their shot from deep. Nah, dude.
I look
forward to seeing what people...
I look at the baby Curry. I look at the baby Curry as probably the best, what I would consider bench shooter in the league, right? But besides that, I don't know if there's a better bench shooter. To me, I look at Isaiah Joe and I see the future with him with the Thunder. And, we have people that comment all the time. One guy says, I have to wear the shades because the future's so bright.
Yeah.
For this Thunder team, right? That's what I feel like, man. Like, you look at somebody like Isaiah Joe, who is getting 29 minutes off the bench and hit, getting 12 threes. Like, that he can continue doing this is because you have Josh Giddey out there and Shea and Dort when he plays well and J-Dub and eventually Chet. We have all these guys that can score from all levels. And you insert somebody that can hit the three so effectively and so deadly like Isaiah Joe can. There's nobody in the league that's going to be able to fuck with that when it's all working well.
For sure, bro. For sure. And we've spent a lot of time talking about some of these other guys. So let's jump back to the starters, bro. Dort, great game from downtown. Other than that, his inside the arc shots, not that efficient. We're okay with that.
But did you see him attacking the hole though? And
he
missing
did.
Those so close, man. I never get mad about that.
I'm not mad about it, but this just goes back to what I was saying, which is he is going to improve as a playmaker going forward. Okay. And it's not that he's not going to improve as a finisher too, because that will happen. But there's a difference, like what we see with certain players who make the move, and then at the end, if they can't dunk it, they give it up, then it's an easy shot for the other guy. He's going to figure it out. He's got to keep attacking. They got to study the film. He's going to look at it. And it's not just about, I got to make those instead of missing those. He's got to make a little bit better decisions. He's going to work on it. Everybody's in love with the Dort's game right now. So we're not worried about him. People are going to overreact on both sides. We don't need to, right? Yeah. J-Dub. Okay. Quiet, but super efficient. Just really, really intelligent level of basketball, making the right decisions at the right spots.
There's so many hockey assists. Yeah. They call it the right pass so many times with J-Dub. It's that in his mind, he's like, I'm not going to touch the ball again, the sequence. And it's he passes it so that he can at least get down there for the offensive board if there's going to be one. And that's the thing I love about the way that J-Dub plays, man. It's so elite. It's so powerful. It's not something that he has to score 20 points to dominate a game. And there's very few players like that in the league. And let's talk about Josh Giddey.
There you go, bro. We did a SGA Giddey sandwich. We made it all the way to the end of the episode. Before we mention Josh Giddey, this is a personal best for us. I didn't know if we could do it or not. We didn't even try, but here we are, bro.
30 minutes, incredibly efficient, over 50% from the field goal. You have 1 for 4 on 3-pointers. I want him taking at least 4 a game, guys.
Dude, it's so beautiful, bro.
That's a beautiful shot.
It is.
I took
they're
time.
closing out on him now. So
and I want everybody, if you have the ability, guys, if you have the ability to take Josh Giddey's shot, okay, and screenshot it, do whatever you can to take it in slow motion, okay, all right, and just go slow as you possibly can. And as he releases, right, it doesn't matter. If you start seeing how he releases, you start knowing that this guy is a 40% 40% 3-point shooter
for sure
in the league in his career.
Yeah.
because you don't see a release like that unless it's somebody that's automatic fucking money. Right. So and Josh Giddey's shot is perfection, and it's beautiful. His offensive rebounding skills, that as an add-on this year.
Right. Double-double, 15 and 10, bro. But here's the thing. Only 5 assists, but let me say something about this. There was a noticeable difference with the way that we were finding cutters when he was on or off the court. In a way that, like, I feel like the way he plays is contagious. But sometimes, right, like, it will keep moving when he comes off the court. And it just didn't this game. It didn't feel like the same things were happening. It felt like players were cutting and they weren't getting the ball, so they stopped cutting as hard. Like, I might be exaggerating, but things work better with him out there because he's like a maestro, like a true maestro, bro.
And how many times did we see him get to the hole, like drive to the hole hard, right? Pass out to Shea, and Shea find Isaiah Joe, or whoever, Kenny Hustle find Isaiah Joe. Like, this is why it's so powerful what he's doing is 5 assists. You're like, that's not so great. But again, it's the unselfish play this team plays with. And it all starts with Josh. It all starts with Josh because Josh knows he's passing out to Shea or Lou Dort or whoever, Kenny Hustle, and he's passing them out. And he knows that he's doing this because now he's created a 2-on-3 situation. And the second that happens, the ball goes boom, and it goes quickly right over to Isaiah Joe, who's wide open, or right over to Shea, who is wide open. A bunch of times last night.
That play, the inbounds pass, like over and over again, because it was so beautiful, fucking beautiful. And
when he's standing there, right?
Yeah.
And the ref has the ball, right?
And Mike Brown said something to him, and he's like, and he kind of nodded his head a little bit.
Like the way he grabs the ball out of the ref's hands before almost the ref's ready.
Yeah.
And the ball is like out of his hands in like a split second before the ref can blow the whistle and give it back to me. Like, it's so crazy, bro. And then the other day when he gets the ball, right, and the ref's like, he didn't like the call, and the ref's like, ball, and he gets the ball and he does the footy pass to him.
Yeah. Bro,
I love Josh Giddey. Can I just say that? I wish he was my little brother. He could be a part of my family forever.
I'm not a big plus minus guy, all right? And usually I don't even give a fuck to look at it. But out of the players who really played minutes, the starters, he had the only positive plus minus. He was plus 8. Everybody else was in the negative. And really only Kenny Williams was in the positive off the bench of players who played more than 7 minutes. So it felt like that. It just fucking felt like that because the ball snaps, it moves from side to side, and there's this ability for him to. He's got an incredible internal clock. That 24-second, he always knows: is this the time to shoot a 3? Because there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Is this the time to get a second paint touch? Is this the time to go, cross court pass because we need the shot now? So all those things he can do at any moment.
And how many times you see Josh Giddey take a shot that starts a fast break? That's the thing about Josh is in the way has the ability to recognize things, guys. It's so next level. It's so next level, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know what else to say other than for us, what we saw was a team that's playing some of the best basketball in the NBA in the Kings, and another team that's playing some of the best basketball in the Thunder, and we took a really, really good shot from this team, and I'm just going to go out and say it right now, bro. Like, we could see them in the playoffs this year. Playoff preview right there, baby.
I want it, man. I want it so bad because I think we beat most teams in the West right now in a 7-game series because of the way we're playing. We got to get better. Because of the style we're playing. But we need to get more healthy. Yeah, we need to get better. And it's going to be fun to watch, guys. Like, this is it, And as we wrap it up, we've done our longest podcast that we've done in a long time, and the reason is because of how excited we were about this game last night. So we just want to say thank you to each one of you guys. Like, we are overwhelmed with the comments every single podcast, especially this last one. It's truly spectacular of how much interaction that we're having with you guys.
Yeah, in the polls, you guys
it's positive.
Vote. You guys give feedback. Yeah. It's great.
It's amazing. And I look at it and I see people from Brooklyn. I see people we had our first person from Israel right on our comments. Like, you guys are truly amazing. And I cannot say enough how much we appreciate every single one of you guys. And it's been an amazing ride recently. And it's something that we want to continue doing, and we're not going to stop because we're all bought in to this Oklahoma City Thunder team. It doesn't matter. And I know you guys are with us as well. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.